She might have been wounded. She has trust issues, all of that stuff. Okay? And you are a good guy. And you want her to be in your life. And you want her to know you are welcome. If you want in here, you are welcome. Okay.
I was just patient, never try skating. Fuck niggas hating.
I got 5 ways to assist a woman with not being intimidated by you. But number 1, a thing to remember, in all fairness, guys, a preconceived notion about people is not in your control, but you can unintentionally prove her wrong by displaying your authenticity. But if she doesn't trust guys, for example, she doesn't trust guys with tats, she doesn't trust guys who look a certain kind of way, who smoke. She has her personal preferences based off of her previous experience. She no longer dates men who are police officers, whatever it may be. There's nothing you can do to change that. That is something that she has control over changing. If she changes her mind and decides that she's back open to dating black men, white men, Mexican men, because there are some women who have been damaged. I understand. I'm a dog. I'm a man myself. It's in my nature to do some F-boy stuff in my past, and I'm self-aware. So if a woman has dealt with men who have been doggy at any time in their life, they are precautious. Okay, they take precautions with dealing with the next man. So she might appear to be intimidated by you, but in all actuality, she's a good woman who doesn't want to be hurt again. Okay? But there's nothing you can do to change that in her. She has to still have even a little crack in her window of opportunity for you to flourish. She has to have a little bit of trust and a little bit of faith and a little bit of belief, the size of a mustard seed, in the fact that there are men like you who exist. There are some women who just do not believe good men exist, and there's nothing you can do to change that. Just keep that in mind. This is not going to be one of those videos where I bash a woman or trigger any woman, or they still going to get triggered anyway. But this is not the intentions of this video. This is for my men. If you are dealing with a good woman and you want her to ease up and you want her to be relaxed around you and you want her to know, hey, you intimidating me, you're intimidated or whatever I'm doing or whatever about, hey, you want to help, this is how I'm going to help you do it. Number 2, be vulnerable. Let her know through your actions that anything she wants to know about you, you will answer honestly, even if it changes her perspective on you. That's key to remember. There are things that we have all done in our life that we are not ashamed, not proud of. And if she asks you questions about your situation, that's whether it's current or from your past, answer honestly. A lot of women, and I understand them for this one too, a lot of women are furious with men who make decisions for them, right? So they withhold pertinent information about themselves when she's trying to vet you. And then she finds out some time later that there's some information you left out that she could have used to make a better decision on whether or not she wanted to deal with you, and or she feels like you robbed her of her ability to make that decision for herself. That's not right. That's not what we want to do. Okay? So even if it changes her perspective on you, be honest. Number 3, be understanding and gentle with her body and her emotions. She needs to feel safe in your presence. Okay? This is something that you can't fake. One thing about me is if I'm dealing with somebody and they are treating me a certain kind of way, and then later on down in life or in the time when I'm trying to get to know them, I start seeing cracks in their character, or in other words, their mask begins to slip, I got to trust that new version that you're exposing to me or that you're revealing to me. So when you genuinely respect a woman's mind and her body and her emotions, you never cross those lines. You never jump over that boundary. This has to be done from day one to infinity. If ever you cross a boundary, and we're not perfect, but you would need to acknowledge the fact that you've done this and do, immediate corrective action if she gives you another chance, because a heavily guarded woman is over the second chances. She doesn't have any more chances to give you. So you don't have too much wiggle room to be expecting this woman to tolerate your BS. So if it's at all in your nature or your capability to do so, avoid ever crossing her boundaries. Respect her mind, her body, and her emotions. Number 4, never be judgmental. Anything she shares with you should be and feel sacred, and she should know that she can trust you with that information. This does take time, though. So there's no way for a woman to predetermine if you're trustworthy or not. As much as they would love to, they don't have that ability to do so. You can't look at me through this film and determine if I'm a dog or not. I have to tell you, I have to reveal myself to you by my actions. I could tell you all of this stuff all I want to, but you don't know me. You don't know me from Adam. There go my mans again. So I feel like if she has the ability to trust, even the faith of a mustard seed, in the fact that you could potentially be a good man, even though it might be a slower process for her to begin to trust you, it's still a process that can happen. And you would just, on your end, need to be trustworthy and patient. But when you are being authentic, patience is not really a virtue like that. You know who you are. You are self-aware. You've done the work. You act the same way regardless of who you're dealing with. And that being said, you a shoe in. That's a hole in one. You good already. If you are being an authentic man, she's gonna see that you're trustworthy and that she can trust you with her past and any information that you give her. You never throw things up in her face that she told you. Don't ever do that. Don't you ever do that. The second you do that to me, I'm not telling you nothing else ever again. So that's definitely one thing you can do to make a woman who appears to be intimidated by you more comfortable around you. Number 5. This is probably the most important tip I can give you. You might want to write it down. Don't wait for her to love you the way you want to be loved. You initiate that. You lead by example. How does this look? If you are the type of man who wants to communicate with a woman on a regular basis, but she's not reaching out to you every day or as often as you'd like, you don't do the whole, oh, she didn't reach out to me, so I ain't reaching out to her game. Nah. You take charge of the situation and you reach out to her first. You display the love that you want to her. You teach her how to love you. You be proactive, the initiator of the treatment that you want to receive, the love that you want to receive. You dish it out first. And if she is a good woman, she will reciprocate. That's the nature of a good woman, to be honest with you. Women take what we give them and make it grow into abundance. You put your seeds in her, she bores your children. Anything you give a woman, a good woman, she will multiply it. That's the fruit that God blessed us with. That's the ability and what a woman brings to our life, is the ability to take what we can naturally do as men and multiply it. She can't multiply something she doesn't have. You have to give it to her. Okay? A woman who starts off as being intimidated by you and unclear and uncertain about you and she has some trust issues and all of that stuff like that, if you do this, if you treat her how you want to be treated first, be the initiator. You don't wait for her to do it first. Don't listen to these people that say, I let women pursue me. Nah, you lead by how you want to be treated. And then she will see that. She will see your actions. Skip your words. I'm big on, you can do all the talking in the world. I need to see it. It needs to be accompanied with the actions. A woman's going to think the same way. Okay? I have a disclaimer. And this disclaimer is unfortunate, but it's reality. Warning. Not every woman is even worthy of you. You can do all of these things. You can initiate the kind of love that you want, and she take that and do whatever she pleases with it. She can choose not to reciprocate. She can choose to break your trust and across your boundaries. That is irrelevant when it comes to a good woman, but just keep in mind, don't be the kind of guy that doesn't take precautions yourself, who makes yourself vulnerable to someone who would just come into your life and steal everything that you possess. You got to do the due diligence in vetting this woman and finding out what type of woman she is too. But you do have to have a certain amount of courage to be the initiator and be the vulnerable party who, yes, you can get played, but I'm going to do this because I think, not know yet, but I think you're a good woman. And I think you'd use this information wisely. But there's always a possibility that sometime down the road, the things that you told this woman, she's throwing back in your face and she's spreading it to her friends and putting it on social media. And for the women out there who will say, men do that, that is not what my video, I'm not talking to you. I know there are dirtbag men out there in the world. I've been one of them. So I know when I speak to good men, it's a highly likely chance that they have been one of them too. But the reason why they subscribe to me is because they like where I'm at and they feel like that's where they're at or where they want to be at. And we can give each other validation as heterosexual men along this tough journey of dating and being able to keep and maintain our frame, our train of thought in our faith, that eventually we will have what we desire in our hearts. And only the man upstairs can give that to us through our discipline. How we started is not how we'll end. Same thing with women. I will hold them to the same standard. I don't care about your past. I care about where you're at right now. We can't afford to have preconceived notions about everything in life. That's a blockage. That's a mental block. Even us men, if you have a preconceived notion that every woman ain't ish, then you never gonna value women. You never gonna trust women. You're going to treat them accordingly. And there are a lot of people in the world who treat the opposite sex wrong because of what somebody else has done to them or what preconceived notions they have about that sex in general. I don't think it's wise. And I wouldn't advise that to you. I hope this video answers some questions that I got. I hope you can take anything from this. Anything you can't use, discard it. I don't mind. It was free for me to give it to you. So I'm not taking any losses. It's not like it's product in the store, and if it don't sell, I got to go through the loss prevention department. Nope. I maintain all of my information in my head, and if I can share some with you and you can use some of it, the rest of it that you can't use, it reverts back to me. No losses taken. If you don't know me, my name is Jerome. Then this has been another episode of the Superb Word, baby. You have a wonderful rest of your day. And if you have any other questions, you can hit me up. That's my juice man. You can hit me up on Instagram Facebook and TikTok, or how I don't really know how to message someone on YouTube, but I believe it's possible. You can just leave me a comment then. I'll respond to that. Whatever way it works for you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. God bless.